Well, hi, thanks for coming this evening. I'm Jody Perez. I have done several workshops on breathing and meditation in the area and a few other workshops. I am a retired teacher. I'm Reiki trained, level 2 Reiki, although I don't practice at the moment. And I think that the reason that I enjoy presenting these workshops and working with people is because it's nice to share this knowledge of how other people can benefit from breathing, meditation. It brings happiness, it brings relaxation into your life, and I don't want to keep that to myself. I'd like to share that with people around me.
Awesome. I'm Joplin James Sell. I'm actually Jody's nephew, which is really cool that we get to do I think it was our first workshop
our first one together.
That we're actually running together. I have done, throughout my life, I've done a lot of holistic approach to healing, learning. Besides, I'm a teacher by day, so I bring in the science part, but then I also believe in the spiritual, the body, the mind, the spirit. It all needs to be connected, and you need to work on ways of healing that incorporates all of that. And so I've done, I'm Reiki 2 certified as well. I did a shamanic intensive, what do you call it? Oh my goodness, I forgot the name of it. All about the elements, all about how to connect with the elements. And one of the components on it, one of the weekends, it was an intensive 5 different weekend retreat series that I did. We focused on the element of air, and we did a lot of breathing exercises and as we'll learn today, I mean, we're going to be looking at more breathing for the relaxation part, but breathing and connecting with air is vital to life, as are the other elements. But it's interesting how much control we can gain with just the breathing of ourself and our body and a lot of stuff that's going on in our lives. So that's kind of like where we're at, and Jody asked me to do this workshop with her, and I was like, oh yay.
Awesome. So we're going to start today with the breathing. And as you all are well aware, that every minute of every single day, that's what you do. You breathe. Unfortunately, a lot of people have not practiced the slow inhalation, the slow exhalation, and don't know all of the health benefits and the longevity actually that you can gain from this. I was reading a study. I had some notes here that I wrote down and shared with Joplin. I was reading a study yesterday, and it was saying that the average person will breathe 15 times, or 15 to 20 times actually, in a minute. The average should be 12 or below. If you go back several years, it was 8 to 10 was the average. So as you can see, as our lives become more full and more rushed and more filled with stress, our average rate of breathing has increased, which is not healthy for our bodies. And we'll be starting with telling you some of the benefits of practicing these techniques. So you aren't one of those 15 people with 15 breaths a minute.
I mean, as you know, the more oxygen that you take in, it's more efficient for your organs. It's going to improve circulation. It's even at bedtime, a lot of times people have trouble falling asleep. Well, if you are able to center yourself, relax, and get rid of that stress prior to trying to fall asleep, people forget to check out and they try to fall asleep, and I can't fall asleep. Why can't I fall asleep? And their mind is racing because they're not taking that time to, let's slow down, let's release the day, now let's focus on where am I at in my body. And so I think it's neat. We'll share with you guys some different ways that today that you can walk away and you can practice just things that are quick, things that might take 5 minutes. And if you're open towards the end, we have like just a guided meditation that we will work with you guys, so you can actually experience a more in-depth breathing and relaxation moment. But like Jody was saying, when you think about the stress in everyday life. And when we are going as a teacher by day, I'm dealing with multiple stuff. I'm sure that I get all worked up, and I have to like remind myself, like, because I working with like middle school, high school kids, I have classes that change. I'm not with the same kids all day, so I have a chance to have a new group coming in. Let's refocus, let's recenter. I purposely tell myself, let's reset, recharge. Because if you don't and you get caught up in that stress leads to a lot of just health problems. I think
mental problems
Yeah.
also can be attributed to that. In your handout, if you want to go to the first page, you can follow along. We made the handout so that you could just follow along if you'd like to. There's no details in it, but it does have the vague points that we're going to talk about. And the first one is exactly what, underneath the picture is the first one that is exactly what Joplin was just talking about. When you practice the slower and the deeper breathing, you bring more oxygen in. And the more oxygen you bring into your body, the easier it is for your vital organs to do the things that they're supposed to do. It also increases your circulation. And there have been several studies that have shown that actually if you regularly practice breathing exercises, it's as good for you as doing aerobic exercises, which just blew me away when I read those studies. I was like, no way. The next one was managing stress, and that's exactly what this handout.
On the next page, yeah.
No, it's on their
Yeah,
page.
on
It's
the-
at
yeah.
the top of your page there.
Okay.
That's exactly what your handout shows. So where we would like to be is in the rest and digest. Because when you're in that area, your breathing is normal, your muscles are relaxed, your heart rate is normal, and you just feel better. But when you have stress in your life, when something happens to you, you automatically go into this fight or flight. And the technical terms would be in your sympathetic nervous system kicks in. And when that happens, as you all know, your stomach stops working right, your heart just starts racing, you start panting and breathing faster, and as you do that, you're becoming less and less healthy, and the more you do that, the more you send yourself into that. So you've heard people say, wait, stop, take a deep breath. Well, what they're doing is trying to help you get out of this fight and flight and back into the rest and relax.
I mean, of course, with the given stresses of life and just in life in general, whether you're a caregiver or you're dealing with just different things in life that is causing you stress, it's not like this philosophical, I'm going to be a hippie and zen and I'm going to be so calm and I'm anything a duck, the water's going to just rush off my back like a duck and nothing's going to bother me, right? That's ideal. But if you can do like Jody talked about, taking that seriously, stop. Like, and we treat with kids, when kids are panicking, we've always, as a teacher, I've always said, okay, let's take a step back, let's talk, let's stop, let's check and see where we're at. And we, as adults, we forget to do that for ourselves, and we get caught up because, especially if you're a caregiver and somebody's relying on me, and I got to do this, and I got to do this, and I got to take care of this. A lot of times we have that dinosaur chasing us all day, and we're in fight or flight mode, and we're causing all this undue stress and just bad stuff to our bodies that we don't realize.
And I think that probably, Joplin, is probably one of the key things that you said is awareness. A lot of us we're not aware of how we're feeling until we get really bogged down with it. So if we can increase our awareness when we're starting to go into that pattern, and we can use some of these techniques to pull ourselves back over, then we won't keep going there as easily, I think. So yeah, managing stress is a
huge
big one for the breathing, and that's probably the one you'll hear about the most. It increases your body alertness, but the most important benefit is it allows your bodies to break down toxins. And that toxin is carbon dioxide, CO2. When you just shallow breathe, you are not releasing all of the CO2. When you don't release all of that, what it does is it forces all of your other organs to work harder to try to get the carbon dioxide out of your system. In doing that, your other organs can get an infection more easily. So if you practice the deep breathing, you are getting that carbon dioxide out the way we're supposed to be getting it out. And hopefully one of the benefits from that is that you're not going to get sick as easily as you were before. So to me, that is one of the greatest ones. My mom has been in the hospital several times for retaining carbon dioxide because she is a shallow breather. She doesn't, and she's 92 years old. So, I mean, what can I say? But when she was in the hospital with that, and that's what they diagnosed what it was, they said, Joan, you have to breathe deep. You have to take these great big deep breaths. And she practiced doing that. And they said, we're going to give you a little tool to help you. So they brought her in this horn thing. And so her thing that she had to do was take this little horn, and every half hour she had to take a deep breath and blow into this horn, and she had to do it 5 times. And that caused her to start learning to deep breathe a little more. It caused her to start expelling that carbon dioxide. And when she went home, she kept on doing that to help her. And that's exactly what they were doing, is getting that off just in a different method.
Interesting.
So those are some of the benefits of deep breathing. We thought, since now you know why you should do it, we thought we should practice doing some.
Give you some examples of
Yes,
different ones.
and
that
instead
you
of
can
us
do.
just talking you through them, we're going to have you actually do them. It's the best way to learn, right?
That's right.
The first one was, as you can see by the cute little handprint there, it was developed for kids. It has been used in classrooms. It's been very successful with kids. But adults said, oh, that's like way too cool. We are going to start doing that too. And so, we can't just let all the kids have the fun. So we pulled it over, and we're now using it with adults. It's called the Take 5 breathing. You can do it with the fake handprint on a piece of paper. You can do it by pretending to trace a handprint on the table. I do it with using my own handprint.
Yeah.
So basically, as the directions, and we gave you directions, so if you take these home and use them, you'll actually know how to use them. So you take your hand and you take your pointer finger, and you're going to breathe in, pause, breathe out. Breathe in, pause, breathe out. And then you do that all the way around for all of your fingers. This is a nice one to use when you are at the store
Yeah.
and you find yourself getting a little irritated,
Or
or if
in-
you're having road rage.
Sitting in traffic or
You find yourself, flying off. This is a great one. Let's all practice it. And you can go as fast or as slow as you want around your fingers.
grounds you really fast. This one does. I found it just calms you, and it's so simple. I mean, you're using your own body, and how great for, again, if you're working with other people or kids. If kids are stressed out, hey, take a moment. Let's calm down. So it's great that we can use it for ourselves as well, like Jody talked about.
Right.
Being,
And if you're self-conscious about tracing around your fingers in public, this next one is right up your alley. It's a figure 8. It's the exact same thing, except this time, instead of tracing around your fingers, you're going to be making a figure 8. So I do it in my hand when I do it. You can do it on a table. You can do it in the air if you so choose. You start in the center of the 8, and you breathe in as you go, and your eight is laying on its side. So you're going to breathe in as you go around the first loop, back to the middle, pause, exhale as you go around the next one. So you're doing inhale, exhale. And again, you can do it as fast or slow as you want. Inhale, exhale. Go ahead and try it a few times.
Great one you can do if you're in a stressful meeting and you have your pen or pencil, and you can go on your.
You can do it on your paper.
You can do it on your
Yeah.
paper, and they'd have no idea that you're doing
Just
it.
think you're doodling.
Yep.
One thing about the breathing is people may tell you that you have to breathe in for the count of 5 and exhale for the count of 5, or 4 or 6 and 5. I mean, you'll go to different experts and they'll tell you their preferences. I can't do what they want me to do. That is not comfortable for me. That's not comfortable for my lung capacity. That's not comfortable for my body. And I spend my time stressing about getting the breathing count right. So I don't pay any attention to that, and I would urge you not to pay attention to people that tell you that you have to do certain counts in your breathing. Your breathing is what you're comfortable with. The goal of the breathing is, if you can, in through your nose, fill your cavity, which we'll work on with the diaphragmatic breathing, and then exhale at your pace. So that's what I would urge each of you to follow.
There are a lot of different guided meditations, guided breathing, relaxation places where they do that, and like Jody said, it stresses her out. And I'm always like, okay, I always go against what people say anyway, and so I'll find myself, okay, well I can't hold it, so I'm gonna exhale, and I'm always off, because I recognize, like she said, everyone's at different capacities, especially if you're dealing with a sickness or something. You might not be able to take in that deep breath for a count of 4. Guess what? You can take a deep breath for a count of 2 just as well as a count of 4. It doesn't matter. It just, as long as you can know that you're getting it in deep. That's
Right.
that's the most important thing.
part. Yeah.
Well, and that
exactly.
makes sense. I mean, the purpose is to be bringing the air in,
Yes.
and as much as you can, and then of course then exhaling as much as you can
Exactly.
out.
And a lot of times they have you pause and they hold it too, and that sometimes is difficult.
That drives me crazy when they do that.
The worst one that I have struggle with. I'm the opposite. I struggle with when they are having us exhale and they like do a ungodly, like they want to blow out for 6, and you're like, there's nothing left inside of me. I'm blowing out everything. And,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
I'm already there.
Yeah. How relaxed am I now? You know.
1-6, okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on. The next one is a rainbow breathing. I don't know if it's on the back or the next page on yours, probably the next page. Rainbow breathing has 3 versions. The first one is to just do it on a table. If you're somewhere, again, like you did the other 2, you can trace the shape of the rainbow, and you can inhale to the top, pause, exhale as you go down the other side. The second one has you standing, and it has you imagining a rainbow in front of you, and you're not a part of it. And so you would inhale, exhale. The third one, which is the one that I prefer because it raises your lungs, it helps you get your air in and your air out, is where you are actually a part of the rainbow. So you start with your hands at the side, and you are making the rainbow around you, with you the center of the rainbow. So you would go inhale, as high up as you can with your arms. Pause. Exhale. That one is my favorite. So choose which method you'd like to do. If you'd like to stand, you're welcome to.
You can do this by sitting as well, as I'm demonstrating
Yeah.
on the video, and you can
Yep.
just, it really does.
See if you can fill your lungs all the way down when you inhale.
Better at blowing it out, coming down.
Yeah. it's the thing that's hard when you're raising your heart and you're trying to take that deep breath.
Right.
We think that we're going to take it into the top, and
Right.
we're actually taking it into our stomach. So
Right.
if you push your stomach out as you're breathing, that's where you'll feel it going in deep. If you're trying to go, I'm breathing up here, and I get halfway up, but I don't have no more breath. I can't take it in, right? No, it's so when I'm going up, I'm going to push my stomach out, and I can feel it like more. I take more in when I take it in. It's that diaphragmatic breathing.
Which is the next one.
next one.
Right.
Very good.
Right. And we could have started with that, but this one is much harder, the diaphragmatic breathing, because we're used to our shallow breathing. We're not used to using our actual diaphragm for our breathing.
You actually have to train. I mean, we're giving you if you've never done diaphragmatic breathing before, it can be difficult at first because you actually have to train your mind how to not breathe up here, because people with asthma, they breathe up here too, and trying to get you to get that diaphragm, and you really take that breath. Like when you take a breath in, your stomach should go out, not your top of up here. And we for some reason got trapped in the shallow breathing method. I'm breathing, I'm doing my breath.
That's right back to that fight and flight.
Yeah.
Because that's what you do in your fight and flight, is that. So ideally with the diaphragmatic breathing, you should lay down. You can do it by just sitting back and putting your feet out. You can do it. But what you want to do is you want to take your air in, and you want to, if you can vision it, going past your lungs and down here. Put one hand on your chest, put your other hand on your stomach. You want to make your stomach go up and down with your breath.
Not your chest. Your chest actually goes, if you're doing it right, will go out as you're breathing out.
Your hand on your chest should be still as possible, and the only one moving should be the one on your belly.
Just doing a couple of those, really, you can feel the oxygen going into you.
Yeah, I can feel it all the way down, down here.
They say to think about how the baby breathes.
Yeah.
Babies breathe with their bellies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
yes.
they haven't learned
Learn
that
that's stressful.
stress.
And I bet you a lot of kids breathe with their bellies too, because they haven't been in our stressful.
It does feel. This is a great one to do before bed. This is a great one to do because you are lying down in bed, and you can then center yourself, and you'll find if you're one that's having a hard time falling asleep, this is to part of that letting go that we've talked about, that this is a great one to do to just start the relaxation of your body before bedtime.
Because you're so concentrating on your hand going up and down on your belly that you're in the present, you're in the now, which is all about what you hear with mindfulness in today's world. And you are not thinking about, oh gosh, here's how many things I have to do tomorrow. Oh, here's all the things I did today that I can't do again. And, you're not stressing yourself out. You're concentrating on that hand. People that use this type of thing for sleeping, they say that practicing it regularly, you could fall asleep within a minute using this, which I really need to do when I wake up in the middle of the night and I can't go back to sleep,
Well,
as I need to start doing that because
it's-
I'm not very
And
faithful at it.
it's funny too because people that haven't mastered the breathing when they or maybe they're looking for other things and they're learning about meditations and relaxation and stuff. One of the things that they have to work through first is a lot of times when people first start doing guided meditations, they're like, well, I don't like it, I fall asleep and I didn't get anything. Well, that's because their body was in such need of that state that that's okay. And like when I've done workshops, we've had people fall asleep during, and we've had roomfuls of people, and that was what they needed for that moment in time. And so it's interesting, like Jody said, yeah, you can fall asleep pretty quickly with that. A lot of places that if you work with any hypnotherapists, a lot of the hypnotherapists, breathing is involved in that as well, and they take you into that state where you are relaxed and you're calm and you fall under hypnosis or in that state, that altered state of mentality.
Yeah,
so,
we were talking about that the other day about doing hypnosis and how we did use breath when we did hypnosis with people.
Yeah.
So yeah. The next one I don't know that we can really practice with our masks on, but you can kind of practice it. It's called alternate nostril breathing. Alternate nostril breathing actually has lots and lots and lots of benefits for your brain. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be inhaling through one nostril and exhaling through the other. And you do that for several times and then you switch it. So I'm going to take my mask down so you can see my hand on my nose, but I won't breathe. So you're going to use your thumb and a ring finger. So I'm going to push in this nostril as I breathe in, and then I'm going to switch and I'm going to exhale through this one. And after I've done that 3 or 4, however many times, probably 3 or 4 3 is probably plenty. Then I'm going to switch. Now I'm going to inhale and exhale. And as I told a group that I did this with last time, I have a deviated septum on this side of my nose. So when I do inhaling and exhaling through this side of my nose, you can hear it really, really loud because it bends up and in. But it still does work and it still does benefit me. Be careful of this one because this one can make you lightheaded. This one can just make you feel kind of strange if you do too many of them. That's why I'm saying probably 2 or 3. Probably 4 is too many. 2 or 3 is probably the best for that because you are going, right up in directly here. So
Interesting.
So if you want to try it in your mask, you can.
Yeah, it does.
Just
It
to
works.
see.
It works okay. It's interesting.
It's just getting your nostril closed and then close the other one
Yeah.
while you exhale. That's all you have to do.
And then if you're going to switch it, you just have to breathe.
Or you could be like Joplin and do the two-handed method.
That's for me. I have to do that for me. That helps.
Well, but that's hard to get used
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is very difficult to get used to.
And you'll find you probably have one side of your nostril that you normally is your dominant side for you that you breathe through. And when you do make that switch, it's like, oh, like Jody said, you could have a medical thing with the deviated septum, or you struggle with that at first, but it's really good to get that air flowing on that side as well, especially if it's not used to being that dominant one for you.
And that's one you probably don't want to go out in public and
No.
do in front of other people.
Or in your car in traffic, people might not.
Driving down the road.
Not good.
That would be interesting.
Now, if you do it with slow breathing like that, it's a very relaxing thing. There are people who use it like a cup of coffee, though. If you increase the breathing rate that you're doing, it is like a jolt of caffeine. So if you're doing...
Oh. So if you need a little energy.
That's
That's
gonna
to
give
wake you up,
energy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can do that, you know, like if you're sitting at a desk and you're starting to get like loopy, you can do that, and it will jolt you, and you don't have to do, like I said, 2 or 3 is all you'll need.
Yeah.
I mean, case
Do
in
it the
point,
other way.
in the classroom, working with, especially with elementary kids, sometimes we do brain breaks, or we will get up and do jumping jacks on your side. We're increasing their breathing, and that's the slight pick me up that we're talking about.
Right.
This is one that you can just do yourself when you're feeling sluggish after lunch. Maybe it's 2 o'clock and you're
I was
having
gonna say it's at 2 o'clock.
that food coma at the desk, and you're like, I can't. I'm not going to go run a block right now, but okay, let me go make this phone call.
And
So-
I don't want to go and eat something.
No.
And, eat,
Sure,
and I don't
you
want to
know.
go and drink another cup of coffee because then
Right.
I'll be up till midnight. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
this
That's
is
good to
another
know.
alternative
Yeah.
for you, depending on the rate of breathing you use
Sure.
with it. So those were the ones that we found were probably going to be the most beneficial for people in everyday life.
Okay.
So we hope that some of those will be ones that you will adapt into your own lifestyle and use. So now we'll move on to meditation. Meditation, as Joplin said, we aren't going to practice each meditation type that we're going to introduce to you just because we'd never be able to do that.
Yeah.
You'd never be able to withstand that. But at the end, he does have a meditation that incorporates several of these that
You can
he will do
experience.
with us all.
Yeah.
On your handout, you have the benefits of meditation. These are all based on research and studies that we've read, looked up, or watched YouTube videos on. And the first one says changes in your brain. Meditation actually does change your brain. It will grow 3 parts of your brain, the learning part of your brain, the increase empathy, compassion part of your brain, and retaining information part of your brain. Meditation will actually grow those. Meditation will also shrink, back here in the back of your brain is a part that controls fear, anxiety, and stress. Meditation, regular meditation I should say, will shrink that part of your brain.
And there's been studies that after 8 weeks, people have, if they go through a meditation program, that they find that that anxiety, that stress, that fear, it rewires your brain on some aspects, and you're able to cope with whatever those stresses were before differently because you've released a lot of that fear, anxiety, and stress.
The second one says decreases side effects of stress, anxiety, and depression, which is what Joplin was talking about. And it's been shown that meditation works as well as some anti-anxiety medications. But again, it has to be regular meditation.
Not one and done.
Not one and done, because that will not work. And like he said, the key is most of the studies show that if you do it for 8 weeks, you will then start seeing major benefits from the meditations.
Is this once a day or once every couple days?
You know what, they didn't say frequency on most of them.
Okay.
And so,
There's different types out there of
Yeah.
meditation programs, so you have to find what works for you. And you can have your own moments throughout the day. If you're a spiritual person, you can incorporate prayer with the meditation, and you can get into your breathing. You can center yourself. You can, if you do prayer, you can bring in your prayers during that time. And there's a lot of things that we do that are meditation-like.
Yeah.
If you're doing like for a purpose, whether it's I'm going to take control of my body because I'm struggling with something, anxiety, or I have maybe a bad habit I'm trying to get over, a smoking addiction or something like that. So I'm going to use meditation. I'm going to find a meditation program to tackle that.
Right.
So there's different programs out there, but you can incorporate meditations in your daily life. I mean, I think we all have, if we think about it, we have those things in our schedule that we have put in. I know me, I wake up ungodly early than I need to before I go to work because I like my cup of coffee, but it's not about drinking that whole cup of coffee. It's about sitting. It's about greeting the day. Like especially right now, I like to go out on my patio. I watch the birds. My dogs come out. We kind of just greet the day. And it's like this meditation of me just welcoming the day, and so I'm not going, oh, I gotta run, I gotta go here, oh, look at the time. And you think of those families that are caught up in stress, and the kids are all stressed and anxiety, the parents are all stressed, and why? Because they're waiting to the last minute to do everything instead of taking the time
The
to
technical name
focus.
for that is anchor habit.
Yeah.
So if you can attach a small short meditation to an anchor habit, which is a habit that you do every day. If you wake up in the morning and you lay in bed for a few minutes before you get out of bed, that's a good time to either set an intention for the day, to give thanks, to whatever. Just that moment is a meditation moment for those few minutes,
Sure.
because you are calm, you're breathing regularly, and your heart rate is normal, everything's going along normally. So if you can find little things like what Joplin said, that's what I do every morning is I lay in bed and I do my thank yous. I set an intention for the day of what I would like to accomplish, and nothing judgy, nothing pressure, just God today, and because I'm religious, I would say, God today, please help me to have more patience. And then, because I'm using a meditation technique, which is in here on the intention setting, I picture myself being successful, having patience. I picture myself how I feel when I am more patient, the happiness that I feel, and set myself up for the success when I step out of bed, I'm like, oh, yeah. Cool.
And for people that are really busy or live busy lives, I have told them to take even shower moments of meditation, because that's sometimes your only place where you can just tune off the world, and you have this natural water flowing over you to help with the calming, with the washing away of the stress, and there's a lot of visualization, meditation stuff that you can bring into those moments. So it's finding whatever time you got to center yourself and to experience that slowing down, even if it's only 3 minutes.
Right.
Just once a day for 3 minutes is better than not taking anything.
Right. Yeah. So meditation doesn't have to be a big, complicated thing.
Well, I think that is what maybe, I know for me, has kept me. I've done a little bit better, but when I was taking a college course, and part of it was on meditation, and it was like part of the assignment was every day I had to do 30 minutes.
Oh, that's
And
long.
I had
long.
4 kids at
Oh,
home,
wow.
and I'm trying to find a quiet place in my home, and it was just like, this is not working. I mean, I am so, distracted because I can hear them. I'm thinking now that timer's going to go off for dinner, right? And all that stuff.
Right.
It was not a positive thing for me.
Well,
No, that
I like
wouldn't
the
be.
shower idea.
The shower thing, and some people, even the active people will find that they enter the meditative state while they're running, while they're driving a car, while they're biking. Anytime when you're detaching and you're with yourself, your body, whether it's a motor vehicle or your payments on the earth, and you're not engaged in a conversation, and it's just you in the open road or the trail that you're on, it does something. It takes you
Walking your dog.
Walking your dog. I mean, even then, I gotta watch my dogs and stuff. But if you guys get into a habit, and your dog will follow you if
Right.
and you both are going at a good pace, and you're like, oh yeah, this is like.
Because you'll find you're not concentrating on your dog.
No.
You're walking your dog most of the time, unless your dog really pulls on you.
Right.
So it can happen naturally
Yeah.
if we allow it, but a lot of times we don't set that purpose.
Right.
Well, and people don't call it meditation.
No.
They go, oh, you took a moment, okay.
Right.
They don't call it meditation, and actually it is.
It is.
One of the
Sure.
forms. It is a time of meditation.
Yeah.
It has the same benefits as the meditation.
Cool.
The one thing I liked on here was that meditating is extremely healthy. There is a protein that runs through our blood that makes us develop heart disease. And when you meditate, it decreases that protein in your blood, it decreases inflammation in your body and it decreases your blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So with regular meditation, you really, may not have that high blood pressure anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You may not be on those pills you were taking for your heart as high a dose as you were, and you may notice inflammation in your body start to go down.
Mm-hmm.
What I love too is that people that regularly meditate, they are happier people.
Yes.
You see that they smile. I smile all the time under my mask.
Mm-hmm.
As a teacher, I got accused of always, why are you always happy? Why are you always smiling? And I because I had learned how to embrace my day and teach that with my kids, and I go about like, okay, let's not let stress consume us. Let's, and so my frame of mind, I share that joy with my students, and I realize, adults forget, and we get wrapped up in, if you're not working with kids all day, there's some jobs out there that are really stressful, especially ones that are working with the public, and there's people that are just constantly being bombarded by negativity.
Right.
And but then you see those people in those places who have that ultimate customer service, and they're so happy that they're there, and you're like, what, how do they got that? How are you able to do that? And it's because they have something in their life that they have learned to embrace, to take those moments. And if you talk to them, they'll tell you it's either through a spiritual prayer thing, or it's a self-conscious health thing, but they have taken their mental being into in the bull by the horns and said, you know what, I'm going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And it has transformed their lives. I mean, there's a study on monks that says that the 30% more gamma waves of the monks, that they have 30% more gamma waves of happiness, intelligence,
And they actually put
self-control.
things on these monks' heads.
Which it's funny you said,
Which is so funny.
which she shared this research with me because I had some weird things going on with my eyes like 20 years ago when I was living in Kansas City, and I went and I had an EKG done, and they put like the things all on my head, and I'm sitting there and I'm just relaxing, waiting, and all of a sudden the nurse, she's like, oh my goodness. I said, what? She goes, you have the most beautiful brainwaves of anybody I've ever seen. I'm like, oh really? I'm like, oh wow, thank you. And I'm like, what? I don't know why, but it's like, so, but I really think because I get accused of being the happy guy, well, it's because I take that time to find the joy in life.
Sure.
Joy to me is vital. You can have peace, love, happiness, but joy is where you put it all together and you experience it, and you can just be
Well, and I'm sure you run into people too, where you look at them and you go, oh, they're just so calm. You can just see that there's a calmness and a happiness about them.
Yeah.
And they just go about things in a calm, happy way. And 10 to 1, those are people who probably practice some form of meditation,
Sure.
which is neat. The first meditation is a breathing meditation.
We're not going to walk you through these. We're just give you the information
Yeah.
on them. That way you know the different types of meditations
Right.
that they're there.
So with the breathing meditation, I found for me, because when you meditate, the one thing everybody worries about is their mind. I'm so sorry. I'm having allergies today. They worry about their mind darting off. That, everything keeps coming into my mind and I'm not going to be able to just meditate. So I found with the breathing meditation, for me when I first started meditating, it was very helpful for me to say numbers while I was breathing, rather than concentrating on other things darting into my mind. So for me, I would sit outside because I like to meditate outside, and I would sit outside and I would go, inhale, 1, 2, 3, exhale, 1, 2, 3. Doing those 1, 2, 3s over and over and over kept me right there in that moment, keeping everything else from darting in my mind. If something came in my mind, the technique is you just acknowledge it, don't judge it, acknowledge it. Oh, yes, I do have something today. And then I imagine on a cloud, and I imagine it just floating away.
And breathing meditation is focused solely on that breath, and we
Yep.
we gave you examples of them in the beginning, and it's that whole in and out.
Yeah.
So whether you don't want to count because that might cause you anxiety, In, out, in,
You can say
out.
in, out. You can come up with
Whatever.
a word, you know,
You can take in
love,
love,
you know.
stress. You know, like you can
So-
put purpose to it, but it's
Right.
when you look up on the back, on the very back, we shared like all these different online resources, and they'll have different types of meditations, and so you'll see in some of the breathing ones
Yeah.
that they strictly focus on breath.
Sure.
So
Yeah, breathing is breath. That's why I say a lot of people, myself, use that with the counting. And I counted my own count. And I breathed, inhaled, and exhaled as fast as I wanted to go with my count.
because you
I
might
didn't-
find one that they're telling you to hold it for 6, and you
Right.
don't want to do that, so
Yeah.
you got to find
So
out
it's
what works
it's
for
the
you.
repetition
Yeah.
that keeps you in the moment.
Yeah.
Body scan is a very interesting one. This one actually is, if you know Andrea Brenner, this is one of her favorites. So when you do a body scan, you're going to imagine a light coming over you and starting at your head, and I've listed all the body parts here that you could include in it. But just like when you lay yourself, like you laid yourself on a scanner, and you're just going to check face, relaxed, shoulders, relaxed. And you're going to do that all the way down to the tips of your toes. And then you're going to go back up and do the same thing. And you will find that this is like a really, really relaxing one to do. If you notice discomforts like my shoulders, I carry the world on my shoulders, so my shoulders are always uncomfortable. So when I'm doing the body scan, and I actually do the hand motions because I'm tactile. I can't help it. But I actually do the motions. And then I get to my shoulders and I might go shoulders relax, and I don't feel they are. I'll back it up a little bit and go shoulders relax. And then I'll wait there for a second before I go on to another part.
And the opposite, if you don't use your hands, you can see the lady sitting there. She's in the lotus position. So I have done these where somebody is doing, talking about the light coming in and the light's going through each of your body parts, and you're feeling the light touch it, and as it's touching it, it's relaxing it. And then if you notice any areas, now when we were trained in Reiki, I'm not sure how when you were trained or how I know everywhere's a little different, but when I have done Reiki or have experienced Reiki, I have felt like they do that. They will go over your body and they will sense where the pain is, and like Andrea is amazing with her massage because she uses Reiki with her massage, and she always has found those areas that that need that tension worked out and stuff. And so I like the scanning one a lot, especially if you are a health conscious person who you're trying to like if you're having injury, like I'm healing from last week. I had surgery, gallbladder removal surgery, so I actually have a bind on me right now, and so I've been trying to heal this area all week and just let that energy like just go in there and shrink everything down, and it helps you when you're doing the body scanning, because like Jody said, if you notice, well, why is this area hurting today? What's this about? What's going on with that? That it could be a precursor to something else that you might not know that you're starting to get.
Right. Yeah. Then we have the guided meditation. Guided meditation is just means that somebody's talking you through it.
Right.
Whether it's on a video, YouTube, in your ears on headphones, or in person, like Jocelyn's going to do,
Yeah.
is a guided meditation. Some guided meditations have visualization in them. So if you're going to be doing a visualization, they'll have you picture someone, something in your mind, and they'll work with your breath and this mental image that you're creating, that they're feeding to you.
They're very similar. They overlap.
They
They're
do.
like not so. I would say visual meditations, you can take control and do one yourself, or somebody can do one for you. if that makes sense. So I'm going to have a visual meditation today. I'm going to imagine I'm on that beach. And I just remember that vacation last year, and I'm going to go back to that place where I was happy. That's me taking control of a visual meditation. A guided meditation would be then what Jody's talking about, where somebody is actually taking you to a beach and they're having you imagine you see an animal in the water, and those are powerful. But some people struggle because they'll be like, well, I'm not at the beach, I'm at the airport, and I'm doing something else, and so it's interesting.
When I first started meditating, the only way I could meditate was with a guide from somebody else, and most of the guided meditations that I encountered were the visualization meditations. And that's how I started on my journey. When I started meditating, everything was only in black and white. And then as I developed in it and got better at it, then all of a sudden things were in color and things were awesome. But I got where I couldn't be on this journey with them. So like I'd be listening to it and they'd be saying, oh, imagine you're running across a field of wildflowers. And here I am, standing by the beach watching the ocean. So I'm like not with them. And then it kind of breaks the whole meditation because I wasn't able to follow their script. So I got away from that, and that's when I moved into the breathing, the counting breathing meditations. And then from there I went into just visualization on my own meditations of, just being and what comes to me.
Right.
So, and for me, it was a process to get there, and I'm sure with a lot of people, it's a process to get there.
And people find that their area that they're most comfortable with. Some people, I had no problem somebody taking me on a guided meditation. I enjoy listening to somebody else telling me. If they tell me to visualize it, I'm going to visualize it. I'm very concrete when I hear that, and I have had some really powerful meditation experiences because I'm able to listen and follow. And some people, they freak out and their mind goes somewhere else, and that's okay as long as they're still coming back from that meditative experience as rested. And like when we've done workshops where there were different purposes, we had always one person, well, I didn't do that either. Well, okay, well, what did you feel while you were there in that moment? What can we help you learn from that experience? And
and if you can get past that, you're not in the same vision that they are, you can still get the ideas that they're giving you.
Exactly.
But you have to accept that it's okay that they're in the field and I'm on the beach. Yeah. The last one we have is a setting intentions. We already kind of talked about that for when you get up in the morning or if something's happening, and you can just stop, take a moment, breathe. It doesn't have to take more than, a minute or two to set intentions. A lot of the ones you'll find online are intention type focus, so you can go online here's some sites on here that you can go to that are free, but they'll be like, do you need healing, do you want happiness, do you want this or do you want that, and you can click on those and they'll guide you through those. Setting intentions, it's a good meditation. It's just a fast, quick thing to do.
I downloaded the Stop, Breathe, and Think.
Okay.
That's that's the one that if I remember this, it's like I need that.
Well, and some of
And
these
it asks
are
you
really
some
short.
questions.
Yeah.
Kind of ask you questions like, what are you looking for? Are you looking for? Are you anxious? Are are you ready for bed? Whatever it is, they kind of walk you through it, and then they give you choices, and it can range from 2 minutes to 10 minutes, so you get to actually choose.
Yeah, that's nice.
How much time do I have?
One of my favorite people to do meditation with is Deepak Chopra.
Oh, yeah.
What I love about his is that he will set the stage with his talking, and then he plays music. And then you take the meditation on your own from there. And then he will check in with you every once in a while, and he'll say, at least my favorite ones from him, he'll say, it's okay, if something comes in, let it go. Breathe. He just checks in with you every once in a while. And his are like, I did a couple workshops with him, and not in person, of course, online, but those were like my very favorites.
Sure. Neat.
Headspace on the apps here that I gave you, Headspace, it's free, but they have a lot of wanting you to buy to get into the good stuff. So it would probably be one of a lot of people do use it, but I really would say the others have a lot more to offer free than Headspace would. So if you want to check any of them out, please feel free to. And now Joplin would like us to join him in a meditation.
So we're
You
gonna.
don't have to lay down.
Nope. This is one that you can just get comfortable in your seat.
Do you want me to turn the lights down?
That
or-
would probably
would be
that'd be okay. That'd be
great.
great.
Would that
Probably.
be all right for everybody?
Yeah, if you're okay,
I'll just
you can just get
There's
yourself.
still some. Are you gonna be able to see? Okay.
Oh, I can see.
Because I was gonna say you can do the volume.
No, it's all good. Just get yourself settled in a nice, relaxing position. Just allow yourself just to relax into the weight of your own body. And as the chair is supporting you, just notice how the body makes contact with the chair, and know that the chair is supported by the floor, and you are a part of that. You are connected. Relax the back of your legs, the back of your hips, your lower back, your middle back, and upper back. Relax the back of your shoulders, the back of your arms, the back of your neck, and the back of your head. Make any adjustments you need to relax the body into the chair more fully. Relax into the full support of the chair completely. Relax the muscles of your face. Relax your eyes, your forehead. Relax your temples and cheeks. Relax your mouth and jaw. Just relax your whole face. Now place your hands on your belly if you choose. You can feel the rise and fall of your belly as you breathe. Notice each inhalation as it enters the body and as it exhales from the body. Notice the entrance and the exit. Let your breathing be soft, full, easy, no effort. Let the body be breathed. As you inhale, say silently in your mind, let, and as you exhale, silently say go. Inhale, let, exhale, go. Continue to observe the breathing, letting the body sink deeper and deeper into relaxation. Let your arms rest by your side now. As you exhale, make a soft fist with each hand. As you inhale, relax the fist. Let your hands remain softly curled, relaxed. So in, relax, and exhale, make a fist. In, relax, exhale, make a fist. Let the body sink deeper and deeper into the support of the chair. Now, bring awareness to your feet.
feel the soles of your feet and all of your toes. Imagine that you could inhale through the soles of your feet. Imagine the breath entering the body through the soles of the feet and exiting the body through the soles of the feet. Inhale, exhale. Now bring awareness to your hands. Feel the back of the hands, the palms of the hands, and all of your fingers. Imagine that you could inhale and exhale through the palms of your hands. Imagine the breath entering the body through the palms of your hands and exiting the body through the palms of your hands. Inhale, exhale. Now bring your awareness to your belly. Feel the belly rising and fall as you breathe. Imagine you can inhale and exhale through the navel. Imagine breathing, entering the body through the navel and filling the belly. Imagine the breath exiting the body through the navel. Inhale, exhale. Now let your mind relax deeper, below awareness of the breath. Let your mind relax below the level of concentration on anything, including the breath. Let your mind and body just go. Let it go completely. Notice your breathing now. Notice each inhalation as it enters the body, and each exhalation as it exits the body. Bring your hands back to the belly and feel the belly rise and fall. Let your breath be soft, full, easy. Notice the whole body. Notice the whole body supported by the chair. Notice how easy it is for your body in this moment, feeling fully supported in this pose and in all areas of your life. When you're ready to begin moving out of relaxation, gently move the fingers and toes. Let some sensation spread into the hands and feet. Stretch or move in any way that feels good. Then roll your shoulders to the right, to the left. And you can just slowly, if you want to open your eyes, bring yourself back to where we're at. Take the best feelings of this relaxation with you. How you feel?
My shoulders are relaxed.
Yeah. This was all about the body. This
Yeah.
one is. We saw this one. I'm like, oh, I like this one because this one really is good about just taking that moment to go down. And we could have let you have a long time. There was a place where I broke and I didn't talk, and it can be for as long as you need. You'll find if you go on to like an Audible guided meditation, they have a set limit of maybe a minute or 2 or 3. And that's just meant for you to be in that state where you're just in that relaxation moment. But hopefully you were able just to take that moment to feel the body. This one was, I edited it a little bit. It was set up for being on the floor, but since we're all in these great comfy chairs,
Yeah,
I mean,
these chairs
this
are good for
this
it.
is just great just to get sucked into it.
Yeah.
So
And you probably noticed as you can notice now that he's done with it, but there were several techniques that we talked about in here with the breathing and the meditations that he incorporated into this one.
This
which
one
is
kind of brought the
awesome.
body scan. It was really
Yeah.
looking at, and then I had never seen breathing through the feet or breathing through the navel before. If you're able to visualize it, it's pretty powerful because you can feel that
Yeah.
energy moving in
Right.
those areas.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
Great.
that was very good.
Great.
Well, we thank you so
Yes.
much for coming today and spending time with us. We
Of
hope you
course.
got something to take with you besides our handout
Yeah.
and, apply to your life.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
Very
you
much
so much.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
No problem.